Jesus was making his third and last resurrection appearance. The disciples had gone fishing. Peter, Thomas, Nathaniel, James, John, plus 2 others. 7 of them had returned not only to Galilee, but were on a fishing trip. Why did they go back to Galilee? Maybe because Jesus had told them to meet him there. Or maybe they just wanted to return to the region they had come from in the beginning. They were led by Simon Peter, who was the spokesman for the group. After fishing all night long, unsuccessfully, as morning came, they were heading back into shore when Jesus appeared on the shore, but they did not recognize him. He called to them, "Children, have you any food?" "No," they replied. Jesus says, "Cast your net on the right side, and ye shall find there." They cast a net on the right side and caught a multitude of fish, 153, and the net was not broken. I invite you to look with me for just a moment at the symbolism in this portion of the text. Because, my brothers and sisters, if we are going to be successful in winning the world for Christ, we must take our direction from him through his word. We must cast our net on the right side. Now, don't get it twisted. Now, he's not talking about the left or right side of the boat. What he's talking about is using the right technique. And that technique can only be found in his word. The text says 153 fish. Now, in the Greek, this word is plural, which means 153 different kinds of fish. 153 different species of fish, which is symbolic of all men. The unbroken net is symbolic of the church. The net says there is room for everybody in the church. And these 153 fish in an unbroken net symbolize the success of their ministry. And it is interesting to note that at this point, that a miraculous catch of fish preceded the call to active discipleship. Notice, if you look back at Luke chapter 5, you'll see the same thing occurring in that text where Jesus begins to choose his disciples and he says to them, "I will follow me and you will become fishers of men." Now here it is occurring again in our text for this morning at Peter's reinstatement. Jesus prepares breakfast, fish, y'all, for his disciples, and after eating, Jesus would then reinstate Peter. Now you recall, you Bible students remember, prior to the crucifixion, that on 3 separate occasions, Peter, having an opportunity to be identified with Christ, denied him. That's right. And after the 3rd time of denying him, the rooster crowed. Pop, I don't know if it was a Red Island rooster or not. I don't know what kind of rooster it was. All I know is that a rooster crowed. Ah, help me, Holy Ghost. Now Jesus confronts Simon Peter with a question. And the same question is asked of him 3 separate times in verses 15, 16, and 17. Now the question strikes us as a very personal question when Jesus asked it the first time, "Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me more than these?" This is a provocative, even threatening question. What did Jesus mean when he asked it? To whom or to what does these refer? When he asked Simon Peter, "Do you love me more than these?" Is it the question to Simon Peter that one that has asked if Simon Peter loves Jesus more than his occupation, which we find out at the beginning of this chapter is he went back to fishing, y'all? Or is this a question seeking to discern if Simon Peter has a greater devotion to him than to the other disciples? Yeah, that can be no doubt that the question is a personal one. We may only surmise that what is going on through Simon Peter's mind at this time. Simon Peter had been given a high profile among the disciples. But after an awful and an appalling public failure, when he denied Jesus 3 times, all of that now seemed irrelevant. What does matter, however, is that what I sense is happening here is that Jesus is giving Simon Peter a second chance, an opportunity to be restored, and an occasion to wipe the slate clean. Now, I had noticed Debbie before, but what I find intriguing now are the things that I had not noticed before about this dialogue. I realize now, looking again and again and again at this dialogue, that Jesus is offering a challenge to Simon Peter regarding his commitment. Jesus also told Peter, when you were young, you went where you wanted to go. But when you become old, you will go where you don't want to go. And he said this, signifying the death that Peter would die. And history does share with us that Peter died the death of a martyr. He was crucified just like Jesus, only he was turned upside down in Rome. And then Jesus says something strange. He says to Simon Peter, "Follow me." But Peter, like me, turning around and saw John, said, "Lord, what about him?" What about John? Look, I know that he's your favorite, but what about him? You've given me my task. You told me to feed the flock. You told me what my lot is going to be for carrying your gospel. But what I want to know is, what about him? And Jesus replies, "If I will that he tarry till I come, what is that to you? Follow thou me." In other words, don't worry about him. Never mind the task that is given to another. Your task is to feed the flock and to follow me. I think that's quite interesting, y'all. Can I call your attention to the fact that Peter took his eyes off the master even before he began his God-given task? He took his mind off of the task. He started worrying about somebody else. You remember when Peter Otis was walking on the water? He was doing good until he took his eyes off of Jesus, and then he began to sink. When we take our eyes off of Jesus, we are doomed to fail. We won't get the task done, and we cannot follow him when we're not paying attention to him. Y'all pray for me in a minute. I'll be through. My brothers and sisters, we are to follow the Lord without distractions. Our mind should be focused on following Jesus. Listen, needless and unreasonable regard about the affairs of others divert our attention from our God-given duty. Y'all pray with a brother. I like the way Reverend Scott Moore put it on Friday night, y'all. He said we allow the adversary to occupy space in our mind without paying rent. You do know that when that distraction comes, that's what he's supposed to do. And too many of us are too busy worrying about him instead of what God has called us to do. Oh, pray for me, church. I just stopped by to remind you, don't worry about him. When you can't get a prayer through, because the reason you can't get a prayer through is because you're worrying about him. The reason you can't feel the Spirit like you used to in church is because you're worrying about him. Help me here. We've lost the joy of our salvation because we're worrying about him. We can't see Jesus because we're worrying about him. If we follow Jesus and keep our eyes on him, we shall find neither the heart nor the time to meddle in those things which don't concern us, like meddling in the affairs of him. And there is plenty of room for others to follow. There is room in the church for all of us to follow and not be crowded. Remember the example of the 153 fish? The task is tremendous, I want to tell you, but the laborers are few. There's an undying world to save. There is suffering on every hand. There is a naked world to clothe, a hungry world to feed. The unlovable must be told that God is love. The world cries out and longs for peace and justice, and our church pews are sitting around here empty because we're worried about him. There's too much of that going on. Too much that needs to be done for us to worry about him or anybody else. It was because the early church, like the church of today, would make comparisons. Some would say that John was the great one, for his philosophical thoughts were higher than everybody else's. Some would say that Paul was the great one because he traveled to the ends of the earth for Christ. But this chapter, John 21, tells us that Peter had his place too. He might not be able to think or write like John. He might not be a great missionary like Paul, but he had his task, a Christ-given task, a beautiful task, the task of being a shepherd of the sheep. And I need to let somebody know that I'm glad for this 21st chapter of John, because it lets me know that I may not be able to be philosophical with the best. I may not be able to travel to the ends of the earth for Jesus Christ like Paul, but I can feed his sheep wherever God plants me. I can do what the Lord has given me to do. Wherever God puts me, I know I can do what God wants to do, and that gives me great joy. Not only must you and I follow Jesus, we must do what God has given each of us to do.
That's right.
Oh, don't get it twisted, baby. It ain't all about you. This is all about him. Help somebody. You know, God gave some preachers, he gave some teachers, he gave some missionaries, some stewards, some trustees, some class leaders, some ushers, some choir members, but all of us are servants of the Most High God. And it was Peter's task to shepherd the sheep. It was John's task to witness to the story of Jesus. It was Paul's task to be the missionary to the Gentiles. There is work for everybody to do. Everybody has a task to perform. So let's each of us perform the task given to us and stop worrying about him. Peter asked, let me specify, Peter asked the question, what about John? When he should have asked for more faith, more courage, more love, more strength, and more grace. And then, you know, many folks show more concern about John's salvation than they do for their own salvation. Can I help somebody? Too many folk are busy worrying about my children. You can't handle your own children. I know, right? Too many folk are concerned about my past life. But you forgot you have a past life. Too many are sanctified, baptized, and fire baptized, filled with the Holy Ghost saints, have a short memory. It wasn't but last night. Doing what you accuse me of doing. How can I say that? Because if you saw me out there, you had to be there too. As I close, Jesus answers Peter's question. Peter asked, what about him? Jesus' answer was, take care tradition tells us that John was one of the only remaining 12 who did not die a martyr's death. It was oftentimes his life was in jeopardy. There were times that his life would be seen like it was going to be snuffed out. Domitian came into power, ruling over Rome with an iron fist. But one day Domitian heard about this boy preaching about Jesus, had John arrested and brought into court.
That's right.
Said to John, I hear you've been talking about a king greater than me.
That's right.
John said, yes, I've been talking about the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, the mighty God, the one who rose from the grave. And Domitian said, listen, boy, I will let you live if you stop preaching about Jesus. John said, sir, do what you will. The only thing I know to tell a dying world is that Jesus saves. Yes, he does. I'm told by history that they took John and was exiling him to Patmos. He was on his way down the riverbank to get in the ship, headed out for certain doom on Patmos. And as John was going down the path, he picked up a twig and began to rub it in his fingers and began to talk to God. Said, Lord, I've been faithful as best I could. I've done what you told me to do. I wouldn't stop preaching because Domitian wanted me to. But I need to know now I'm on my way to a deserted island. They're going to leave me out there to die. And I just need to know, Lord, if you're going to be with me.